Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes. My name is Hanson, and for this video, I'm not sitting inside a car or anything like that. I'm in a hotel room in Austin, Texas. I'm here because Lexus has a double feature event. They are revealing two cars, the third generation GX and the all-new TX. I have not attended the event just yet. That's going to happen in a couple of hours, but when you're watching this, it's going to be happening at the same time. So I have been looking at these pictures and videos for the past couple of days, so I figured I want to create this content for you guys so that you could at least have something to chew on. There's a lot of information to be shared. I will make more videos on this, but for now, I just want to kind of grab some of the B-roll that was provided to me and some of the pictures so that you guys can see what the GX and the all-new TX looks like. First things first is that this is going to be called the GX 550. Why is it called the GX 550? I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll get more information later on, but there's no longer that association with the engine displacement. Like the original GX was the 470 for 4.7 liter, and it was the 460 for 4.6 liter. This one doesn't have a 5.5 liter V8. Instead, this one has a 3.4 liter V6 with twin turbos. Now, you've seen that engine before. That's on the new Tundra. It's also on the new LX600. And all of these vehicles are on the same GAF platform. So I've driven the LX600 before, so if you want to check out that review, check the link up in the corner. It was an awesome on-road and off-road car, and I'm thinking that this GX 550 is going to be about the same. It's still going to be a body-on-ladder frame style of construction, so if you were worried if the GX was going to go a different direction, rest assured this is going to be your traditional, very capable, high ground clearance type of SUV. As you can see with this engine, it's going to be a 3.4 liter twin turbo V6. That's going to make 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Now, the hybrid is coming later. We've seen the hybrids with the Toyota Tundra and also with the Toyota Sequoia as well. So we figure it's probably going to be about the same performance, maybe 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque for the hybrid models. Again, that's going to be available later on in the future. The engine is going to be attached to a 10-speed automatic. The big news here too is that this is going to have the lifting rear door. Let me know what you think about the door in the comments below. I was mixed with the side opening door of the previous GX because it opened up in the wrong direction for people in the United States. But with this one, it's more like the traditional 4Runner. I think I'm gonna miss the side opening door because you could just open the door and step on the back portion of the car and then grab stuff from the roof rack if you need to. But with this one, you can no longer do that, so you might have to put steps on the side or something like that. Another big change with this third gen GX is that this is going to have electric power steering, so no more hydraulic power steering like the one before. Lexus says that this is going to provide you with more steering feel. Usually it's the other way around, but we'll find out once we get to drive these things. These GXs are going to be available in 2024, early 2024, as a 2024 model year. All of these GXs are going to be built in the Tahara plant in Japan. And this is going to be the first over-trail project vehicle. Over-trail is a term that Lexus uses to kind of represent the outdoor lifestyle. So basically, it's kind of like their own word for overlanding. It sounds like there's going to be several more vehicles coming for this over-trail project, and this one is the first one. There will be 6 trims for the GX. It's pretty easy to remember because it's Premium and Premium Plus, Luxury and Luxury Plus, and then Overtrail and Overtrail Plus. Towing capacity is going to be 8,000 pounds between the Overtrail and the premium grades. The luxury grades are going to be slightly less, and that's most likely because there's more weight within the vehicle itself. As you're looking at these videos, you might be thinking about what the Overtrail is all about. And the Overtrail version is definitely the one that you want to get if you do any sort of like overlanding or off-roading or anything like that, because this is wider. It's presumably going to have more ground clearance because it's going to have bigger tires. This one comes with 33-inch diameter tires on 18-inch wheels, and it'll also have a wider tread compared to the second generation GX. Now let's talk about the design of the all-new GX, and it is very boxy, very angular. I'm getting some strong Land Cruiser vibes here, and I think there's some design cues that are an homage to the old 70, 80 series Land Cruisers. For example, if we look at the front here, the front bumper, there are these horizontal slats that is reminiscent of the older Land Cruisers. And also, if you look at the front bumper, the grille design, Lexus is horrendous for having huge grills. And I think they actually started the big grill craze. And with this one, it seems like they're going the other way. When the first GX came out, the 470, it had a really nice approach angle of 30 degrees. But then as the generations progressed, and then it was facelifted a couple of times, that approach angle got smaller and smaller because the grille got physically bigger and bigger. And this time, the approach angle of this third generation GX is 26 degrees. And that's going to be great for clearing all those really tough trails. And as you could see from the front bumper here, I like how they've provided some really straight lines so that if you do want to buy this thing and if you want to change it to some sort of a steel bumper or cut the bumper, you have some really easy straight lines where you could use your cutoff tool and give yourself more clearance. So I think that was a really thoughtful, I don't know if they intended to do that, but people will definitely do that with this new Lexus GX. But the higher approach angles, I think a lot of people will appreciate that. Now, as we go to the headlights, it looks so much better than the older one. It's got that Lexus check mark and then the triple beam headlight design. It's a lot like the new Lexus LX600, which is great. So this is going to be kind of like the smaller brother to that, and I think this looks really good. Now looking at the side here, I really like those huge fender flares, and if you look at the windshield, it looks very flat from this angle, and again, it gives it that very boxy and angular design. And from here, again, the tires are 33 inches. Those are all-terrain tires on black 18-inch wheels, and curious how big you can go with this GX, and pretty sure it won't take very long for people to stuff 35, 37-inch tires on here, and hopefully there's not going to be a lot of cutting involved. And here you could also see that you could possibly put some nice rock sliders on there without a lot of modification. So I think the design team have really put in a lot of thought into the potential modification of this car. And also from this profile, it just looks really good. I love the two-tone roof. And if you look at the section where it goes from body paint to the black, there's this little sliver of brushed aluminum or a silver color, and I think that's another design homage to the old Land Cruiser. It reminds me of the drip rail along the roof of the car. I don't know if that's what they intended on doing, but I'm looking at that and that's what that reminds me of. And as we go towards the back, you see more of those beefy wheel arches, and I want to rewind this for a little bit. If you look at the back, it seems like the taillights and that area has been inset, and it just gives it a really special look, and I think it emphasizes just how much wider this vehicle is. This is a good angle to look at the car from, and a lot of interesting design features on here, and I'm curious what you guys think about this new Lexus GX. I'm in love with it. I think it looks really good, really rugged, and from this angle, from the back, you could see the new Lexus branding. No longer does it have the L logo of the old Lexus. And at the bottom there, you could see a cover for the hitch, presumably, and I would think that you'd be able to remove that pretty easily. We'll see. And in here again, you see the lifting rear door, and what's interesting here is that they kept that window that you could pop open, so pretty convenient when you want to grab in and reach stuff without opening the door. And here you see the second row being split 60-40, and you could even flip up the second row for even more space. And I like how flat that is. I'm not sure where the third row is from this view. Perhaps it's completely removable. We'll see. Not sure. We'll know more once we get to the actual reveal. But overall, man, I think this is a gorgeous looking GX. It looks good as is, and I think it's going to look really good once people start chopping up the bumpers, putting steel bumpers, winches on there, the rock sliders, and the rear bumper with all the accessories, and of course the pop-up tent on the roof. So let me know what you think about the all-new GX. This is a great looking car. Yeah, look at this thing. It looks, I think it looks really good. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on the new Lexus GX. And for the second part of this video, let's talk about the all-new Lexus TX. Now let's move on to the Lexus TX. This is going to be a completely new vehicle. This is residing on the GAK platform. So the Toyota Grand Highlander, this is basically the Lexus version of that. It's going to be a dedicated 3-row SUV, so the roomiest 3-row SUV available for the Lexus brand. GX's third row is kind of like a partial use third row, whereas this one is actually going to be a usable third row. And not only can you fit a lot of people in there, but there's also a lot of cargo space. There will be 3 different grades for the Lexus TX. There's going to be the TX 350, which is available in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, and that's going to be powered by a 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder. That's the same unit that's been used in the RX and the NX. It's a really powerful engine, and that's going to make 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. 21 miles per gallon estimated combined mileage. The next grade is this TX 500H, and that's going to be powered by a 2.4 liter turbo parallel hybrid system, and that's going to make 366 horsepower and 409 pound-feet of torque. 24 miles per gallon combined is the estimate right now, and this one is going to have DRS. It's not the Formula One drag reduction system. This is going to be the dynamic rear steering. So what this will do is basically make the car feel like a much smaller wheelbase car, much more nimble, and you're going to have better stability in high-speed situations when you're changing lanes, for example. And then lastly, there's going to be the TX 550H Plus, and that is a plug-in hybrid EV, and it's only going to come with the direct 4 all-wheel drive drivetrain, and that is going to be powered by a 3.5 liter V6, and it's going to be making 406 horsepower and has an EV range of 33 miles. Mileage is going to be 30 miles per gallon combined, and that's after you've run out of electricity. So it's still a pretty good hybrid in the end. This TX 550H Plus grade will be available later on, but for all of the other grades, there will be 4 trims to choose from. You have the standard, premium, luxury, and the F Sport Performance. Now, as for the inside of the Lexus TX, let's just rewind this video a bit here. There's going to be your standard 14-inch infotainment system and then the 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. So this is kind of like the new layout for the modern Lexus cars. It's very high-tech, it's beautiful, and a lot of really nice materials inside. This is going to come standard with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, so that is a big plus. And when you want to open the door, this has the digital latch for the door, the same thing that you found in the new Lexus RX. Cargo space behind the third row is 20.1 cubic feet of space, and if you fold the third row down, that's going to grow to 57.4 cubic feet, and fold the second rows down, 97 cubic feet total. So pretty large vehicle. As for the second row, you're going to have your typical options of captain's chairs or a 60-40 split folding bench. And to get into the third row, there's going to be a slide assist mechanism system that's going to make folding the second row out of the way a little bit easier. As for the availabilities, the TX 350 and the 550H is expected to be on sale later this fall, while the 550H Plus is, we have no details on that yet. That's going to be available later on. I think this is just another gorgeous SUV from Lexus. muscular, aggressive design, and just like the Grand Highlander, but this one has a lot more luxury appointments inside. This is a much more reasonable three-row SUV, unlike the Lexus GX, which has a kind of like a partial use third row. So this is going to be much more useful. It's going to be much more reasonable for people who will be transporting lots of stuff or just have lots of kids. Whereas the GX, that's really more of a dedicated off-roader. So there you have it. That's the GX and the new TX. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will have more videos on this, so make sure you hit that subscribe with that notification bell so that you can see it when I post it. But in the meantime, I'm going to get ready for the event and see this for myself. So I'll see you in the next one.